Hello friends, welcome back to the Art Room with Mr. Eck. Today we're learning about chalk pastels. And chalk pastels are similar to oil pastels in a few ways. The first way is that they're kind of big and chunky, and so they're not great for little tiny details. They are also good at covering large areas of color very solidly. They're also great for blending. So those are all things they have in common with oil pastels. Now, the blending technique is different, and cleanup is a lot easier. So I'm going to do two similar example projects like I did with the oil pastel project. I'm going to do one where we look at the artwork where it's solid, and then one where I do a sunset to show you how to blend. So let's get right to it. Alright, so if you're a student in my class watching this video with me in class, this is what our chalk trays look like right now. These chalks have been well loved and used, and so they're kind of broken into little pieces, but they're totally still usable. What I'm going to ask is that when you use one, like let's say I just used the orange, put it back in the tray before getting another one. That way at the end of class you don't have a big pile that you've got to try to fit in here, because they all need to fit before we clean up. Alright, so let's get to it. I'm going to go ahead and draw an abstract artwork using lines and shapes, and then I'm going to color it very solidly with the chalk pastels. It looks like I had a glitch on my video camera and that it did not film me actually making this artwork. I didn't realize that till I went to turn it off. But before I did the black lines, I wanted to show you something. So with chalk pastels, you're going to get a lot of these little piles of powder, and so before I do my black outlines, I'm going to use those my fingertip to blend those, to blend it. So all these little white specks, I want to get rid of those by smoothing the powder over that, and then I'm going to tap the extra powder off, lay it back down, and then do my black outlines. I'm not worried about getting chalk pastels on the table because you can just clean that up with a wet paper towel. And in fact, you might want to get a wet paper towel handy to clean your fingertips off while you're working. So you don't, like, let's say I smear the red and then I'm working on the blue. I don't want to get the red and the blue unless that's part of the plan. So wet paper towel helps with that. So as you can see, the finished product is something pretty similar to the oil pastel art that we have looked at previously. With this style of artwork, you can get very solid colors, and then the black outline really makes it pop out, so it's great for solid colors on large areas of your paper. As you probably could tell while I was working on it, it is very messy, just like oil pastel, but even messier. So you have to be kind of relaxed about it. You can't be super like, oh, I gotta get it just inside the lines, because pastels are hard to control. So you just have to go into it with a real relaxed attitude, and I think you'll have a lot of fun. It's especially fun when you add blendings. So now I'm going to show you a way that you can use chalk pastels to make things look like they're glowing, which that's something pretty cool that only chalk pastels can do. You can also use them to make sunsets like I showed you with the oil pastels. The only difference is you actually would use your fingertips to blend the colors on the sunset. But I think you guys know sunset, so I'm going to show you the glowing option right now. Alright, so do you all know what the Aurora Borealis is? It's called the Northern Lights. Up in the northernmost part of our planet, there's this amazing thing that happens up in the sky where these lights just light up the sky. It's pretty amazing. I hope to see it one day. So we're going to make that using chalk pastels. So with a pencil, I'm going to draw my horizon line so I know where the ground is. Everything above that is the sky. So with colors, I'm going to get a chalk pastel. I'm going to hold it sideways, and I'm just going to make kind of a wavy line all the way across the page. And I'm going to do that with a few different colors. Don't forget to use white, because white also looks good and kind of brightens things up. maybe some blue. Alright, now I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to start at the bottom color and I'm just going to swipe up. Pretty cool, right? Then you can get a black chalk, or you could use a black colored pencil should work, and you could draw some trees, or you should draw some mountains, just anything to be like silhouettes against the night sky. I think I'll go with mountains just to save some time. And then you're just going to fill in everything below your sky with solid black. And here is the Aurora Borealis behind some mountains, probably up in Alaska or Canada somewhere. So it turned out pretty awesome, right? And that's because I used the chalk pastels to spread and blend. And it looks pretty realistic, honestly. That looks like the pictures I've seen. So another thing you could do is you could have anything. You could have a light, like I've used this to make like Christmas lights, or you could make stars. And you just surround your star or your Christmas light with chalk pastels, and you just smear the chalk away from whatever it is that's glowing, and it looks like it's glowing. It's pretty cool. So there's lots of neat stuff you can do with chalk pastels. I hope you guys are getting some cool ideas and want to experiment with chalk pastels. There's so much you can do. Alright, so that's it for this week. I'll see you next time in the art room.